All right, guys. All right. Welcome. Let's type some ones in the chat. Let's get this thing really rolling. I am super excited to be here with you guys today. And I tell you, we have some amazing information for you guys. So first, I want to start by, in the morning, we usually start by, dropping some gratitude, but I want you guys to actually think it's to the end of the day. And as of now, you should actually be setting up for tomorrow. So let's actually, instead of dropping gratitude in the chat, let's drop some goals for tomorrow in the chat. What are your plans to make sure that you're going to be, productive tomorrow? So what are your goals that you plan on doing tomorrow? Is it hit 20 people up? Is it, make 10% profit in your trading? What are you planning to do tomorrow to make sure it's going to be a productive day? Wake up early. Yeah, there we go. Popping 2 more P600s. Let's go. And this is what we need to be doing, right? So you need to be setting your goals the night prior to make sure that the next day is going to be a productive day, right? Because how many times do you go out the day and you're thinking, oh man, I don't feel like I was productive today. That's because you didn't have no plans. You didn't have no goals, right? You got to set those goals to make sure that you're set for the next day. Now, why did I play those videos that we watched today? Well, it actually goes along with what we're going to be talking about today, and that's resiliency, the power of being resilient. Right now, what is resiliency? That's being able to really take yourself out of that negative mind space, right? And keep pushing forward when things are getting rough. Because let's be honest, we know that we're going to go through our trials and tribulations. We know times are going to get hard, but it's all based on your mindset, how you're going to handle those. Right? So I want you to think about this. If everything went perfect in your life, would you be here today? If everything went the way you wanted it to go, would you be here right now today? The answer is probably no, because I know I wouldn't be here at all. I'm actually here because of the struggles that I went through. I'm here because I lost more than half my hours in my job because of this pandemic. I'm here today because of all the hardships that I went through in my life brought me here today. And guess what? I couldn't be more happy to be here with you guys. Because I went through a lot of things, guys. I went through, to be honest, before all this, I was the type of person that went to party every day. Every weekend, I was in a party. I was, living my best life, wasting $400 or $500 every single weekend. Every single weekend. That was my ritual. That's what I did. That's where I found the most of my joy. Not realizing that I was self-sabotaging myself, not realizing that I was in this mind space where I was just comfortable where I was, not realizing there's a whole bigger picture to life. Right? Now, you have to think about, what do you want to be in life? Would you rather be an egg or a handball? Would you rather be an egg or those 50-cent balls that every time you bounce it on the floor, it goes higher? Right? You ever see those 50-cent balls? It's about this small. And every time you bounce it, it goes higher and higher the harder you bounce it. Right? That's the way you got to think about being resilient. Would you rather be an egg when you drop it, you crack and break, or you're going to bounce back? Because the harder, you hit the ground, the higher you go. Right? You have to choose which route you'd rather be. And how do you get there? Mindset. Watching videos like we watched in the beginning of this call, because that's going to help you get to the next level. Right? Every struggle we go through is part of the growth that we have to go through to get where we want to be. But actually, guys, this call is not about, it's not going to be me just speaking this whole time. We have actually a special guest on this call today. And when I tell you, this is a person that's really helped me get to where I am today when it comes to presenting, when it comes to mindset. This person has helped me realize that is a bigger picture. Right? This person has been going through hard times and hardship where he has to be resilient. Right? Because let's be honest, some of us, we lose 1-2 people in our business and it's like, oh man, I don't want to do this no more. I want to quit. I want to give up. How do you think chairmen feel when they lose 30-40 people at one time? Would you quit? Would you give up? Or would you keep pushing forward because it's not about you, it's about the impact? Right? Is it about the impact? Because that's what it's all about. It's not about you. And I'm going to say this probably every Wednesday I do these calls. It's not about you. It's about the impact. Listen, guys, I've been in positions where I felt like I was making an impact on the world. And I'm going to tell you here today, guys, that I feel like I'm making more of an impact doing calls like this, helping people. I've had one of my students actually tell me, I need this. I need to be part of a family. I need to feel like I'm a part of something. So it's not about even about Forex. It's not about, oh, I'm going to learn crypto. It's about the unity that we have that's going to help us get to where we want to be. Think about this. How would you feel if you can go to your mom, your father, one of your loved ones and say, here's $10,000. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Wow. Wow. Give it to your daughter, your son, here's $10,000 because you've helped me get through this. Wow. It's about the impact. And once you realize that, that'll help you get into that mind space where it's like, okay, I could bounce back from this. So the next person I'm about to bring up is none other than Mr. Justin Felix. When I tell you this is a man who has impacted my life in such a short period of time. Like when he speaks, I'm telling you, the room listens, right? When he speaks, I'm telling you, like, it is definitely, I got you, brother. It's definitely, a time where people really tune in. So make sure you got your notepads, make sure you got your pens, and really, let's drop some fire emojis in the chat for my boy, Justin Felix. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yo. Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Let's get it. We'll throw the cameras on. Oh my gosh, I am so blessed to be on this call. Guys, drop a 1 in the chat for my man D.West, man. My man always throwing together some fire. We got to give it back to my brother because, bro, the first day I met this man, I remember it was different. There's something different vibe. I was like, this man's a little tall at first, but he's a little taller in person. But I was like, he's a little tall, but I was like, this guy has value to give. I mean, there was a different aura, a different type of vibe when this man stepped in the room. I remember literally, it was like within 30 minutes, I was talking to this man like I was my brother. He just had so much value to give. And of course, that was replicated for him back. But man, I'm so thankful for you, brother. I'm really, really am grateful for you and the value that you not only brought to my life, but my team. And, it's just been to the next level. I don't want to have y'all on here too long. We already started the call a little late, but I'm just going to give y'all straight value for the next, 25, 30 minutes, not try to extend it long. But definitely, before we get started, take out the pens and paper because I got some heat for y'all. Because this is something that helped me understand what it really was to really get to the next level. Because, we talk about resilience. We're talking about bouncing back from the struggles and the toughness that we all have in life because we can all relate to that. We all go through some type of struggle, whether it's financially, whether it's mentally. I feel y'all. I understand it. But we got to understand that we all have one thing in common, that we can all get out of that struggle. We understand that we all have the ability to see that grass that's greener on the other side, but it's only there if you water it. Understand that. The grass does not grow greener on the other side if you do not water it. You have to understand that. So starting off, we got to pull off that resistance because we can never bounce back from something without having resistance. I know we all been in the car before for my people that got cars and y'all pulling out of the parking spot and you're like, hold up, the parking brake on. Why is it so hard to back up? We all been there. But you have to understand that, that analogy is like what you have in your life. It's walking around with dead weight. In that car, you're causing that motor to have to work a little bit harder to be able to push the vehicle forward because the brakes are applied. But understand that when you have this excess baggage, that it makes it a little bit harder to accelerate yourself in life. It makes it a little bit harder. We all walked up the steps in school on the first day of school and had the huge backpacks on full of books. It was a lot harder on the first day than maybe the second day or the third day when, after the teachers gave us our textbooks. But we all get that. The first thing we have to understand is we have to focus. Follow one course until successful because focus is the number one thing, one of the easiest things to be able to go out and to be able to achieve any given task. This is the same reason why the sun, beams on the equator and why it's so hot in the equator because it's more focused. The sun is higher in the sky. But you look at us, people in New York, I'm from New York, it's a little higher up here. The sun isn't as high in the sky. It doesn't get as hot in here. And there's a reason because of that focus. So we have to understand. We have to understand that a lot because, their focus where you put it, it makes things so much easier. It makes things a lot, happen just more naturally. And that's the biggest part. But the first thing is, especially with this business, we have to understand that we have to be here a year from now. That's the biggest part. People think that, oh, the first day coming and they make a list, they call a few people. Oh my gosh, if you're rejected, nah, it's not going to work out. You have to understand that, because I was literally showing this. I was broken this down, and it makes sense. You can literally talk to less or sign up less than one person a month, or build your business with less than one person a month. And after year one, you're already almost a P600. Cool. You're on your way to being in the top 4% of people in network marketing. $600 a month for a home-based business. That's crazy. But you have to understand that. But then following through, if you go through and help those 10 people do the same exact thing, boom, you now have an organization of 100 deep going into year two. You're now P2000 in the company. $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year residually. Year three, 10x that again, boom. You're just shy of Chairman 25 at that point. You're making over 6 figures a year. Guys, most people don't even go to college for 4 years to make that. I'm pretty sure the annual salary is like, the average annual is like 55 a year out of college for 4 years. Out of the 50 year, you're pushing C250 at that point. Things start to get a little scary. C250, I almost got my numbers wrong. But things start to get a little scary. We have to understand that. We have to understand that the biggest part and the hardest part about that is us humans have a problem with self-management. Think about it. We go to college. There's 2 paths that you can go in life. And I'm not hating on college. That's not a path I chose myself. But we have to understand that there's 2 paths you can take in life. You could take the path of getting a job. You could take the path of receiving that, I guess you'd say direction, having your life mapped out. Things a little bit easier. Or you can go out of the box a little bit, think a little different, take the path a little less travel, and be able to understand that you can become that person that manages your own life. You decide now when you want to wake up. A boss is not telling you when to eat, sleep, and piss. We have to understand that. But overall, that is coming through self-management. And most people just want to be self-managed by someone else. But when you understand what you can do in life, when you have that resilience, when you can bounce back from these case scenarios time and time and time again, we start to understand what we really are capable of. We start to understand what we can actually do by thinking on our own for a little bit and not having an outside source either dictate or dedicate where we go in life. That's the biggest part. So starting off, I always tell people there's 3 steps to entrepreneurship. And this is how we're going to bounce back stronger than ever. Because once you understand these 3 steps, you are now going to understand how to really bounce back from everything. Not only in this business, not only with trading, but just in life. Because I look at, there's almost 3 steps to anything. When you really think about it. But, starting off, in the business specifically, you have to become and understand that you're going to be underpaid for a short amount of time. This is also known as the entrepreneurial flowchart. You are going to be underpaid for a short amount of time. So you come in, 2, 3, 4 months in, might be a P150, might be a P600, maybe a P1000. You really move. But either way, $1,000 residually a month by me where I live. If you're making 1,000 residually, 1,000 a month, let alone, that's more than a part-time job by me. You're doing good and you're earning this residually. Understand that. Okay. Now, 5, 6, 7 months in, you're really hustling, starting to see results on the charts, having $100 days now. Now, maybe you're a P2000, 6, 8 months in, really hustling. P2000, you're making $500 a week. That's full-time income for me. That's crazy. Not for me. I don't work a job, but just from where I'm at. If you're making $500 a week, you're making good money by the standards of in my area. But that's pretty good. Okay, now you're making that okay money. It's paying the bills. Maybe depending where you live in America, you can, or where you live in the world, you can live off of $500 a week. It'll pay the bills, cover the spot, maybe take a car note, whatever. But then boom, now once you hit C10, C25, not even at that point, P5000, you now are at the point where you're almost at the point where you're overpaid for life. Maybe not P5000, but C25, $300,000 a year to me sounds pretty good. I say I'm set for life off of that. $600,000 a year, C50. And we know the comp plan goes a lot higher. But overall, it's understanding that process, because once you get to that point of being overpaid, think about how life is going to be. Think about it overall. Is mom still going to be struggling? Are the bills still not going to be getting paid? Will that heat be shut off? Will mom still be struggling by? Overall, you really got to think about the impact. Wes made a really, really good point about the impact and understanding that it's more than if a few people, fell off your business. It's more than that. It's more than just a rejection, because we fight through that. We see the impact. We see what this can do for people overall. It's not about the short term, because they say if there's strength in the present, there's faith. I mean, if there's faith in the future, there's strength in the present. And we have to understand that. That's the biggest part. Why are you stressing about the things that are happening now when you know it's already done? When you know the ranks are popped? When you already see the 6 figures in your trading account? Why are we stressing? But we have to understand that. And we have to understand that very clearly. Because once that's a clear picture, guys, you will literally be unstoppable. And that's also tied in with your why. What hurts you? Because my why is so strong that I'll bounce back for anything. I'll do anything for my why. And I'm not going to say it directly because it really might bring me to tears on this call. But overall, you have to understand that it has to be that deep. Your why has to be so deep that if you were to give up on your why, you feel like you're giving up on life. Because that is your life purpose. That is my life purpose. I'm not going to speak for y'all, but my why is my life purpose. Because I understand what I need to do this for. I understand what the mission was started for. So other than that, moving on, we also got to understand that this is a this is something that requires a time investment. This is not basic knowledge, and that's something most people are used to. Most people are used to going to McDonald's and learning how to flip a burger on the grill, dump some fries in the fry vac, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to hate on that, but I'm saying that this basic knowledge by definition. It doesn't take much skill to dump some fries in the vac or stock up some shelves. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just being real. But overall, understanding that workplace, whether it's McDonald's, Stop and Shop, any fast food, whatever, that skill, all it takes is time for you to get paid. Who's been there longer in the company? The head supervisor's most likely been longer than, they're longer than the manager. The manager's been there longer than the employee, so on and so forth. But that's the reason why those people with more time get paid more money. It makes sense. It's a time investment for that. And it's a time investment also when we have things towards trading. But understand that this is not where we get paid by our time. Now, this is where we get paid by our skill set. That's the biggest part. And just like any skill, you have to practice. And most people don't understand that. You have to practice. Practice doesn't make perfect, in my opinion. But I think you practice it until you can't get it wrong. And that's where it really shows through. But you have to understand that. You have to understand that constant practice, that repetition with trading. I have people and I see them, they're like, bro, I'm 2 weeks in. Why can't I profit? I'm like, bro, that's crazy. You're worrying about that 2 weeks in. I may have not started profiting 6 to 8 months in. They always talk about it. 90% of traders aren't profitable within their first year. So why are you stressing 2 weeks in that you're not profitable? I mean, look at all the top traders. I've spoken to Ness. I've spoken to Millie Mills. They all told me they blew over 5+ accounts. But why are there people like Ness out here hitting $1 million withdrawals? I mean, it makes sense. I'm not even gonna mind the income claims, but 6, 7, 8-figure withdrawals, whatever it is. But overall, we got to understand that it's a process to get to that point. You have to get through the trenches. The trenches, yes. You have to live in them. In the war zone, think about it. They're in the trenches for days, weeks, sometimes without food. I mean, I hope none of y'all have to experience the real trenches, but we are theoretically speaking in the trenches. But understand that, on that war zone, it might get a little crazy for it. But afterwards, when the war is over, you see the beautiful light and you really start to appreciate the things around you. That's how it is when you pop these ranks, when you reach that goal or that desire that you have in life. You see and appreciate everything more because you see that you had done it now, whether it was for mom, whether it was for dad, whoever it was. But overall, just life is a different picture because you see now that you have fulfilled your purpose. And your purpose, whatever it is, it could be so many different things, but overall, it's very, very fulfilling. I always believe that, money does not bring happiness. It makes things easier. But with that thing coming easier, it's very fulfilling when you don't have to see mom struggling anymore. I think it's very fulfilling when you can go out and not have to read the menu from right to left, but now left to right, because you can get whatever you want now. Like I said, it's not about the materialistic things, but it's the impact. That's the biggest part. So going back, I had a little detour of my, specialized knowledge and basic knowledge. So going back, us in a business, as traders, as investors, we are investors or entrepreneurs, and understand that, this is not something where we might be learning from a boss, but we are now learning from mentors. Bosses and mentors, there's a very fine line between them. A boss sits back and tells you what to do. He may not direct you. I mean, at least my bosses never did. I say, Justin, go clean the fly back. Point over there while he's sitting up with his feet up in the office. Why is he getting paid more than me? But in here now, it's about the person who spends and puts more hours on the Instagram prospecting, who the person that watches a little bit more go live, has a little bit more episodes, has a little bit more notes. Guys, there's one thing you take away from today. understand that the quicker you fill up a notebook, the quicker you become successful. I'll say that one more time. The quicker that you fill up a notebook, the quicker you become successful. Guys, I have so many notebooks. I lose my notes. I have so many notebooks. I'm going through, I have like 8 different notebooks, but it's just filled with value. And I understand that, it's not just keeping it in there. Don't just keep it there, close it and not use it anymore, not look at it anymore. But understand that you have to open that notebook. You have to look at it. You have to understand it. It's something that I built into my routine every single night or every single morning, depending on, which one gets done. I go in there and I look and I read a page of my notes to understand and study up and just absorb the information that that I've written down at one point in time. Because those are your uncashed checks. I don't know about you guys, but if I had a bin full of uncashed checks, I'd be pretty shook. I'm gonna grab that and I'm gonna go right to the Chase Bank, no cap. But understand that those things have value. Those things have, money has value. And why would you let that sit there and not uptake that value? Why would you let it sit? Why would you let it just waste it? It's just sitting there. So overall, by having this specialized knowledge, you have to understand that experience comes with time, like I mentioned, but it's a skill set now. It's performance based. But overall, how are you going to get to that skill set? How are you going to get to that specialized knowledge? And start off in follow the people that have what you want, have the results that you want. I'm not saying, just do every single thing that they did. I mean, overall, you want to follow similar paths with them, but you want to become the things that you are looking to become. You have to do the things that the people already have done. Starting over my words. But overall, you have to understand that that's the only way to get the results. Or not the only way to get the results, but they make it easier to get the results. They have the path already paved. I mean, it's already there. Why are you going to take the path that's shadowed when you can take the path that has a light on it and you're guided by someone? And that someone could be a mentor. It could be me. It could be Wes. It could be any mentor figure. David Amanite, Matthew Rosa, Jason Brown. But these people have a lot of what people want. I'm not saying every single person wants what they want, but I'm just saying that these people have a lot of what people want and they can show you how to get it. They have the results. But we have to understand that. Brian Tracy said it very well. He said, the difference between unsuccessful people and successful people is that unsuccessful people do what's tension relieving and successful people do what's goal achieving. That's the biggest thing. And that spoke volumes to me overall. Because think about it. The average person after a long weekend, they're going home on a Friday night. They might say, oh, it's a long week. Let's pop open the booze. Let's get a drink. Overall, I guess you could say, can't even find the word for it, but to just numb the pain of the week, I guess you can say. So people just drink to numb, oh, it's been a long week. I need to get drunk. I may have used to done that, but overall, that's not something that's goal achieving. Where is that accelerating you in life? Is that going to make your bank account a little fatter? No. Going out and spending money on a bottle is not going to add money to your bank account. Is that going to make your brain grow a little bit? No. Might honestly hurt a little bit. You're poisoning yourself if you really want to be real. But overall, we have to understand that those goals that you set, those things that you go out and do, that's the thing that is goal achieving, going towards your future. Building the business, going prospecting, watching a little bit of Go Live. You're building your mind. You have to have that, and having a schedule is one of the easiest ways to achieve those goals. You have to have a schedule, family. You have to. If you want to be able to have a lot of things that you're getting done in a day, if you want to be able to go forward and continue to be on task and have just a massive organization, be able to trade and watch all this Go Live and things like that, you have to have a schedule. That's the biggest part. So overall, I'm going to wrap this up. I always want, when I finish this off, I always like to say that there's 3 things that you should know, or I should say, and understand about just any skill set that you have. And the first thing is you have to understand that you have good seed. My mentor told me this very, very well. You have to understand and know that you have good seed. When you present a presentation, you have to understand that you know what you're talking about. And if you don't know what you're talking about, then maybe you should watch a little bit more David Amanite. Maybe you should go out and run the play a little bit more. But you have to understand that not only know what you're talking about, but you have to be good at what you do. You have to understand that. You have to be the best at what you do and understand that you are on top of what you're doing. You are one of the best that you do. You are one of the best at what you do, I meant to say. You have to understand that that's having that good seed. But the next thing you have to do is you have to plant seed and plant a lot of it. Think about it. A farmer does not go out, whether he's growing some carrots or some cranberries, whatever it is, he doesn't go out and place one seed in the field and hope this big, beautiful tree blows up and then, he's set. He goes out, he puts thousands, millions of seeds out because he understands that some seeds might die. Some seeds might not get water. Some seeds might get ran over by the tractor, whatever. But he does that because he understands that there's bound to be a few that are going to bloom and that are going to blossom and be some beautiful trees. He understands that. But that's part of the process. You got to understand that you're going to go out, you're going to run a lot of meetings. You might run 20 meetings this week. Doesn't mean that you're going to have 20 people join your business. But overall, it's the idea of the numbers game. If you throw a lot out, the odds of pursuing that or getting the goal that you originally wanted goes through the roof. I always aim, you want to sign up one person a week, run 10 meetings. You want to sign up 10 people a week, run 100 meetings. Guys, the numbers don't lie. Even then, I'm improving the number of meetings that I run on a daily and weekly basis. But I see consistently that the more meetings I run, the more people that are joining my business every single day. It's a numbers game, family. We have to understand that. But overall, the last thing is that you have to water the seed and you have to understand that it is going to take time. You have to take time. You have to continue to water that seed. You have to, because you have to understand that you cannot lose in this business. You cannot. The worst thing and the lowest point you can ever be is unranked. That's unranked is the lowest you can be, and that's where we all started. But a lot of people bounce back from that. There's many people that have lost whole organizations, including myself. But we bounce back from that. And overall, we understand the end result. We understand mom has to get retired. We understand dad has to get retired. We understand where we have to go. So are you going to let a temporary action affect your emotions? Guys, let me leave you with one more thing, one more last key. I want you to take this acronym down, TEAR, T-E-A-R, TEAR. Because this is where all of your results come from. TEAR, starting off with your thoughts. What are you putting into your head on a daily basis? Are you putting in a whole lot of Kevin Trudeau? Are you putting in a whole lot of Nicki Minaj? No hate on Nicki Minaj, but I'm just being real. She's talking a little crazy sometimes. No cap. But being real, the more, it doesn't have to be Kevin Trudeau either. It could be Napoleon Hill. It could be some Baroque classical music. I love that during my reading time. I love that. Some good tunes, different frequencies. For my people that know about frequencies, it's different level stuff. Look into it. But your thoughts, you have to get your thoughts right. But what are you feeding into your head every single day? That brain food. Because when we're hungry, to feel good on a daily basis, but what are you putting in and feeding your brain? And that's your thoughts. So after your thoughts, understand that your thoughts lead to your emotions. That's the biggest part. What you think about long enough leads to your emotions. If I sit here and I just think about something sad, something negative, I'm gonna start to get upset. I'm gonna start feeling really sad because I'm letting that flourish in my mind. I'm letting my mind just constantly dwell on that and recreate it into reality. I mean, Bob Proctor, we all know about Bob Proctor and manifestation and whatnot. He said it very well. And he said that the longer you think about it, your mind starts to work in kind of like a frequency where it recreates the thoughts that you have in your head into reality. I was like, oh, snap, that's really real. It starts to recreate it. And the longer you hold on that thought, the harder and the longer that your brain works to make that idea reality. I said, oh, snap, that's crazy, because that really works. That really has worked. And I seen it happen. Not to boast rank or anything. I was P1000. I looked, that's how it was. I kept it into my head. At first, it was hard to see. It was a little foggy. When I came into this business, I was like, oh, snap, P1000, that's crazy. I see, people up there, but I never thought I'd be one. But once that vision became clear, once that vision became a little bit, less unfoggy over the summer, I saw it so clearly. And then boom, at the end of summer, smacked right on the face on the way to P2. But overall, it's the understanding that I kept it in my head long enough. Guys, so from your emotions, after you have that emotion for whatever it is, I was thinking about P1000. I was sitting there, I was really happy about it. I already saw it. I was like, bro, this is already done. I had the feeling of what it feels like to get 250 a week. I had the feeling of what it was to see it in the skrill, see the direct deposit hit. I already felt it. But after that, it just took a matter of time for just time to catch up and for it to become reality. And that was the beautiful part, because it happened. And it can happen to every single one of y'all. For my people that are on the way to P1000, understand that it is so simple. Never said easy, but it's very simple. And it's just keeping that thought locked in your head. So wrapping this up, after we have that action of going out, after you have that, first let's backtrack a little bit. That thought of what you're going to do. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have a 6-figure trading account. It's already done. emotion. You think about it. You feel good about it. You know what's going to happen. As an action, you go out and you start pursuing what it is or whatever you want. P1000, P600, P150, whatever it is. You do the action to get it done. And as a result, guys, it's already done. It's already done. It's that simple. But guys, I'm so blessed to be able to hop on this call. That's all I have for you guys today. And I really want to say I appreciate every single person on this call for, this the time and the ability to, be able to lock in for you guys and give you guys value, guys. I love giving value. Definitely, I'll drop my Instagram in the chat for my people that want, any value. I want to ask any questions, want to connect, want to do collabs or whatever, because I'm open. And I appreciate every single one of people in this call. I'm going to be passing it back to my man D.West, because, bro, I love these calls. I'm looking forward to seeing you on these in the future. Hopefully come back in the future. But man, I am so grateful for you, brother. And I appreciate your time again. My man, take it over. You got it.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my gosh. All right, guys, let's talk about P2K in the chat for my boy Justin Felix, because it's already done. It's done. Drop a P2K in my chat for the boy Justin. Wow. It's funny. Everything he's talking about is literally the tools to get to the next level. Literally, it's just that easy, guys. Sorry, it's just that simple, right? Because nothing good in life comes easy. Because it's easy, everybody would do it, right? Right. So let's take what we learned today and actually apply it. Because I feel like a lot of calls, they don't even say that at the end. Like, we need to apply everything we learned today. Apply it all. Because if it's just sitting in your notebook and it's going to sit there on the shelf, like you said, you got to be applying everything we learned. It's just going to be words in your book, right? So like I said, just think about today. Make sure you end tonight, ending it with some goals that you plan on accomplishing the next day. And that is how you can have that feeling of being productive at the end of the day. Because when you just go on and just go with the flow, you're not taking life by its horns and really taking control of your life. Can I be real with you? I used to live a life where it's like, oh, I just want to, go with the flow. It's okay. Nah, screw that. Forget that, right? Take life by its horns and take control, right? Be a product of everything we're doing here and make that impact. So without that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap up this call right now. Thank you for your time. Thank you for really coming in and being a part of, day 2 of Wealth with Wes Wednesdays. Peace, love, and prosperity always. And I'll see you guys at the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. All right, peace.